Hello one and all, and welcome back to the channel with a brand new series of making a Lego studio. So this doesn't look very much like a Lego studio at the moment. That's because it's not. Basically, this is a workshop that I've managed to rent off a friend, and it's not the biggest space, about 4 meters by 4 meters, maybe a little bit bigger. I actually haven't measured it yet, but that's what I'm guessing. And it's going to be, like I say, my new Lego studio, because my new place doesn't actually have really enough rooms for me to have a decent sized Lego room. So luckily my friend's come to the rescue and I've managed to rent this place. So yeah, it's like I say, it's just a workshop, as you can see at the moment, with lots of tools, lawnmowers. It's got a bit of land around it, so there's lots of things that need to be done. And these will all be moving out into a container, and this will be my sole dedicated space to Lego. I intend to have things like obviously a screen, maybe on the wall, maybe on a unit, and a nice sofa. We'll get it all fixed up, and hopefully it will be really good. So I'm going to go upstairs because there's a little tiny loft area where I can use for storage. And I'm actually thinking of having a little crash bed up here as well, just so that when I'm working late, I can, and don't want to go home, I can just easily just crash here. So, and that's all fine. Me and my friend are going to plasterboard this out today. Well, hopefully we'll get it done today. And we'll dry line it, as some of you might know it as, and make it a bit more of a nice space to be in. And got to keep all those creepy crawlies out and keep them outside rather than inside, fill in all these gaps and things like that, and eventually carpet it and paint it, of course, and do all the things that will make it a little bit more habitable for how I want it to be. So what I'm doing at the moment is taking this shelving, this rough shelving down, as I don't particularly want it, and it makes it harder to get into the spaces to dry line everywhere. So I can basically just remove this and have more space. I tend to put sets underneath into those far corners and just use it as storage, really. I say sets, it might be other bits and bobs that I have as well, not necessarily just Lego, but it will be useful storage for me under there. I'm not going to get loads under there, but it's space that I can utilize. I've got to, like I say, remove all this shelving down, this rough shelving, and then we can get on with the dry lining, plasterboarding. All the shelving is removed, and we are now ready for some plasterboard dry lining to begin. Let's see what it looks like soon. So yesterday was day one and got a fair bit done. It may look like not a lot was done, but painting these concrete blocks is quite time consuming, in fact very time consuming. So it really took a fair bit of my time and did not stop painting till about 10:30, 11 p.m. So yeah, that was quite a mission. There's still a lot of tools in here which will be coming out today, and we'll be starting on this side. There's still more painting to do in various areas, like here. Yeah, so, but it will come together. It's just going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And then upstairs, plasterboarding, dry lining happened. Now, we were some sheets short, so it will take a bit of time to go and get some of those and finish off. But yeah, the majority of it got dry lined, so that's pretty good. Obviously there's the cuts there, and it will be skimmed eventually, and I'll probably end up painting again these concrete blocks just to finish it off, give it that industrial chic look. Oh, got a wasp or a bee. That's a wasp. Yeah, so fair bit to do. These carpet tiles are obviously quite rubbishy, but what we'll do, end up using these as underlay and carpeting it throughout, I think will be the nicest for comfort and warmth. Yeah, so on to day 2, and what comes next, let's see. So everyone, this is day 2. I forgot to film first thing in the morning as I had done previously, and I am now filming this in the afternoon. The only things I've done today are these doors, big double doors at the front. Not that they will be open much, but obviously they will show the inside. And I have done the ceiling completely. I've done 2 coats on the ceiling, 1 coat this morning and 1 coat yesterday. Still got to do the loft hatch because there's quite a lot of material going back up in there, but the ceilings are looking so much better. Obviously we want it white to reflect everything and show the Lego off to its maximum. So yes, it's going to look very industrial, and that's, you know, that is kind of what it is, with it being a old workshop or newish workshop. But yeah, get all the dust and grime, clean it, paint it, and I think it'll look really, really good. The walls had, or these walls had 2 coats. They just need filling now from all the screw holes and painter's caulk around the tops. Little bit of expanding foam here and there where there's big gaps, but it can all be sorted out. But it really makes a difference, this the second coat anyway. From what you can see, I've still got some masking tape in various places. From what you can see here, all these shelves were along here, all the shelves and workbenches, that's what I meant to say, that were just stacked with stuff. So that's out the way, and I can get on with giving it a good paint now and finishing it off in here. It won't take long, and then it'll be onto the floors. A coat of PVA and some floor paint, and that will make a big difference. Obviously all this stuff will be out of here before too long, once we get the container sorted outside, and we will also get up there in the loft to finish off the plasterboard, finishing off underlay, carpet, all that, and painting and all the rest of the bits up there. So actually what I might do today as well, if I get the chance, is do a paint on these gable ends. Probably get 1 coat on each end if I'm lucky. Working as I am up until the early hours, I'll say early hours, up until the late hours, around 10 o'clock I've been working. So yeah, it's been full on for a while, but it will be worth it very soon. I will update you on day 3. This is the end of day 3, and all of the main painting is now done. Got to sort this out and make it into something a bit more suitable, but it has to stay there. And yeah, it's taken a long time, these concrete blocks to paint. You have to keep getting in all the little divots, otherwise it just doesn't look great. I did the double doors with a couple of coats. Yes, you've seen this bit, but yeah, so everything has now had 2 coats, and that is probably where I'll leave it, just because I could do another coat, but I'll be here forever. I just want to get on to the next part. Well, saying that, next part is still paint, and that's upstairs. These windows are boarded up, so I'm not sure quite how I'm going to configure this room yet, but this possibly maybe floor to, well, up here somewhere. Besta units with the glass cabinets, the storage cabinets down below and glass on the top. I'm not 100% sure yet, but this whole wall could be Besta cabinets. I mean, it's nearly a full, or is it? It might actually be a 4-metre wall actually. And I quite like the idea. Or maybe not the whole wall, maybe I'll come to here somewhere if I can. And that means I can keep these, well, they've got to be out because I need them for various things. And obviously you've got a timer there which needs to stay for some electrics on the outside. And the pipe work, of course, so Besta units can't go flat against that wall. So I was actually thinking about having my desk along this part here from just inside the doors, which makes it, I think it would just fit in there beautifully actually. So that's a good idea. And then the Besta cabinets starting here along there somewhere. Now I'm not exactly sure because somewhere here I have I think it's covered up. I have, yeah, in there, I'll show you later, I'll show you another time, but in there I have a wood burning fire and that will keep me warm in the winter basically. Obviously you can use electric radiators, but it's possibly it might well go in there, which will also heat the upstairs area because obviously the flue will go straight up through the roof. And this is the possible positioning of it at the moment, almost in the middle. This is another area I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with yet, this window area. It could do the same with this boarding up here, or I might leave it open so that it can open up and occasionally get a bit of fresh air in that way. Either way, we'll have to wait and see. Day 4 at the new studio. And as you can see outside, it's a glorious day. And here in the studio, it's as I left it. So a good bit of painting has been done from last time. This morning I have been doing something for about half hour, and that is just getting around some of these gaps with a cork, a decorator's cork. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So in a bit, my friend has gone to get the other plasterboard bits that we need to finish off up there. And that means that we can actually really crack on today with the bits up here. And what I didn't show you from day 3, this being day 4, is that I just managed to sneak in a bit of painting up there before basically my energy levels gave out. I think this was about 11 o'clock at night, and I just wanted to crack in a bit right down into those corners with some of the painting. Obviously all these gaps will be filled and stuff, so yeah, that would be quite good. I don't know whether this is going to stay like this, but because I intend to have a crash bed up here, I was just thinking about having a bit of a headboard up against that wall there. Basically either using a piece of chipboard or OSB board and sanding it and then varnishing it just to give it the industrial headboard look. I don't know whether I'll do it, but at the moment that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, but anyway, today we're going to crack on with this dry lining, plasterboarding as we generally call it here in the UK, and finish off these gaps. Probably just, we did look at skimming it all, as my friend is a plasterer, but for ease of use and because it's not really anything that has to be perfect, we're just probably going to tape and joint it. I believe in the States and Canada they call it mudding, but here we call it tape and jointing, just to give it a smooth look, and then it'll be painted and it'll be absolutely fine for storage and the occasional crash bedroom up here. Oh yes, I painted that little bit there, look, as well. So just to get down. Oh, I got all 4 corners then. I got down into all 4 corners. It was a week or so ago, so I had forgotten a little bit that I'd done that. I'll paint these beams as well, so it'll all look quite fresh up here. So anyway, let's see where we get to next at the end of today. Outside, yeah, not great, but it's not raining, so that's a bonus. Inside, the walls look like they have chicken pox and they have chamomile lotion all over them. Basically, because I managed to get all the little holes patched up, and I've just started painting over some of them, so that's pretty good. Also, upstairs, find the light, turn it on. Let's get up there. So that is day 5 completed here in the new studio. The plasterboard, dry lining, was completed. It just needs a little bit of more, you can see the lines down there, need some more tape and jointing done, which won't take that much longer, and sanding, and then we can paint. Same down there. It was an incredibly hot day yesterday, and it really took some effort to get into those small spaces under there and get these like that, get these up to this point. But it won't take long to finish off now completely up here. So, and it would look great to get some paint straight onto these ceilings here, which will really make all the difference. So yeah, let's see how we get on and report back at the end of the day or the next day. This is the end of day 5, and what we have done today is sealed the floor with a PVA solution. So hopefully we keep out the damp. So yeah, it's nice to see the whole floor space cleared. Again, I think I showed you earlier, but I'm not sure if I did. Just touched up the cork areas. There are still a few gaps which need to be just filled up, but that won't take long. And up here, we've got a very rough paint job going on, just to show up the places where it might need a little bit of patching, and started to paint some beams. Oh yes, and also lay down these old carpet tiles again with the contact spray, just to give it a bit of an underlay situation. Not that it really needs it up here, but they were here, so I thought I might as well use it. So yeah, as you can see, lots of paint has gone on, and yeah, we will hopefully finish this tomorrow if I get enough paint, and or get a bit more plaster whacked in these well, it's not plaster, is it? It's joint filler whacked in these areas that still need it. But it's getting there, it really is getting there. So very happy with the progress I've made today. I also managed to get a good amount of this caulking done around the edges. You can see there's still gaps which need to be expanding foamed, just to fill in. This one here we need to do something else. There's a couple of switches up there, so a little cover of some description. But yeah, a lot of these bigger ones will be foamed, but just basically filled it in with the caulk, and I will paint over that in a short while, just to give it the same colour as the walls everywhere. That took 4 bottles of caulk just to do these little bits. So yeah, it does use up some. Day 6, and not much happened downstairs for day 5, but what I have managed to get done is a lot of this caulking done around the edges of windows, under the sills, things like that. bit here, although it did really use up the actual cork, so I bought 4. I'm probably going to need another 4. It's basically because it is an industrial space, there's some almighty gaps everywhere, and really it just needs tidying up, and the gaps just need filling in as much as possible where you can. I mean, obviously, look, you can see here the plastering. I could have rubbed this down, but I just whacked some paint over it, because at the end of the day, a lot of this is going to be behind, you know, cabinets and cupboards and things like that. I painted the edging up round, still holes to fill with expanding foam, but basically a lot of the filling down here is now done, and still got to rub that bit down, and it looks a lot better for it. I've actually this morning just been doing a bit more filling of some of these, just because I knocked up some of the plaster stuff. Yeah, had some left over. But if we go up here, you can see we did a lot on day 5. We managed to skim this a little bit just to smooth it off. It still needs fine sand. I don't need it to be perfect up here, so I'm just going to get it sanded down and painted completely. I painted a couple of those beams to see what they look like. Also, I managed to fill in quite a few of these gaps this morning. So that's on day 6. As you can see up here, lots of gaps filled in, which just make it so much better, of course. Again, it won't be perfect, but it will just give it a nice finished look. I still have to paint these 2 beams here, and this beam that runs through the middle of the floor here. But again, really, as I go, I will just make it look clean and presentable. So, as well as this beam here needs painting. So lots more paint to do. Finishing touches, the foaming, of course. We've got some big gaps there. Some finishing off flooring over there. And then, yeah, it'll be ready for some carpet in a few days, I guess. Although I have to order the carpet. I haven't done anything about that yet. So, anyway, day 6 is only a small day. Just a small filling day because I'm off out. So, we will get back on day 7 at some point soon. So that's where I think we'll leave this update, and I think we'll also leave this part 1 of building my new Lego studio, and get back to you very soon with part 2. I only intended this to be 2 or 3 parts anyway, as I only film updates quickly at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, so I don't want it to drag on too long, and I want to get into filling it with Lego. That's the more fun bit for me, for sure. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching this video, and until next time, I will see you in part 2.